Yo. What's going on, man? Today is June the 21st, 2024. It's your boy, Chris. And this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA / WNBA show. I got a special guest with me. My guy Flo pulled up on me again today. We're going to get into the two WNBA games for on the card for today. It should be a pretty short show, but we're going to dive into them and talk about a lot of different angles. Flo's a prop genius, prop guy that's cashing first basket. He's out here giving out the plays, man. They've been cashing. So we'll jump into the two games that we have on slate, and we'll also get into a quick recap of yesterday. But before I do so, I want to send a special happy birthday shout out to my mother. My mom is how old is she? 57 today. Yeah, 57 today. So shout out to Mom Dukes, man. Love you, Mama. Hope you have a great day, and hopefully I get a chance to see you later. So yeah, want to send a special shout out to Mom Dukes. The next thing I want to do is I want to address something that was in the comment section yesterday. Somebody said left a comment and said, Chris, you went 2-1 yesterday. You didn't go 2-0. And I said, so just to address that. So when I get to the recap page, a lot of people know this already, but just because I feel like the community is growing all the time, when I get to the recap page, and you guys see plays on there, if those plays are in red, those are what I'm strongly thinking about playing. It doesn't mean that I have a dollar on those plays, and that's why the colors are coordinated in that way. The black plays are plays that have been confirmed. So if you see black, that's something that I've played already. If you see red, that's something that I haven't played already. And I say this all the time. I guess people just don't listen. Some people just don't listen. But if you want my official plays, when I do make them, because a lot of the times I do the show, well, all the time I do the show early. So it's not like, I'm coming on here locking things in. We see injury news, impact things all the time. Even with Benaja Laney yesterday, she ended up getting ruled out. Yeah. And it definitely hurt the Liberty team total. But I had already played the Liberty team total to go over in the first quarter. So I just wanted to kind of address that before we got started. Jumping into a quick recap of yesterday before we get into the two games. We gave out Chicago -3 on Wednesday. As soon as Maddie Siegrist got ruled out, and that was a winner. Enrique did her best Reggie Miller performance at the end of the game to try to make it close, but ended up being a winner. That was one of the first, I think maybe the first 2-unit play that I've given out all year. I figured it'd be a nice bounce back for Chicago, and it was. Then, like I said, I did give out New York. It was a 0.75 unit play on New York first quarter team total over the 22.5. They come out, miss a bunch of threes, wide open threes, missed a few bunnies at the rim as well. And I think it was the third quarter that they ended up scoring 30. Still went over the team total for the full game, but they did start off a little slow. And that's what you see from the Sparks, man. Sparks are a good defensive team for 5 possessions, a terrible defensive team for 12 possessions, then a good defensive team for another 4 possessions. So, yeah, that's what the Sparks do, man. But so we went 1-1. It still ended up being a profitable day. We ended up a little over a unit just because the Chicago play was a little bit bigger and all the numbers on the right-hand side are up to date. So Flo, let's jump into it, man. We got, and I literally did not get a chance to update these lines. I don't know where they are now. It looks like this is at 2.5 instead of 1.5, which I can't go in here and just change because I want to make sure we got an accurate line now, but I didn't get a chance to do this before. So we're looking at 2.5 here, and it looks like the total is up a half a point, up to 163.5. So not major movements there, but these are lines from yesterday. So, only 2 games on the board for today. Like I said, the first one is Fever. They will be on the road getting this Atlanta Dream Team. And here we go. We jump right into it. Situationally, we're looking at 1 day's rest for the Indiana Fever. Of course, they're coming off a win against the Mystics at home. 3 straight wins for the Indiana Fever. Crazy enough. 6 straight overs for the Indiana Fever as well. That offense is clicking. Defense, not as much. 6-10 now, straight up on the season. 8-8 against the number. They are 2-6 on the road, 3-5 against the spread. And then at the bottom, I put the seasonal rankings, but I also wanted to add last 5 because the Indiana Fever are, I think a really good version of why you got to look at, not just the season in totality. So the S at the bottom stands for season, the whole season. The last 5, of course, the L5 stands for last 5. You can see that the Fever's offense has really picked up. They're 7th on the season, but 2 in the last, number 2 in the last 5. Defensively, they've gotten a little bit better from the worst to 9th. And then overall, net rating as well, worst to 5th over the last few games. So you get an Atlanta team that is also coming up one day's rest. They're traveling back from Minnesota. 1-3 straight up in their last 4 games and against the number. This team has looked putrid. 6-7 straight up, 5-8 against the number. At home, they're 3-4 straight up, 2-5 against the number. And you can see last 5 numbers: 8, 5, and 8. That's offensive rating, defensive rating, and net rating. So we could argue, Flo, that this Indiana Fever team has been better than Atlanta. The other things we got to mention just really quickly is the injury report. I know Fong Bagley is on the way back, Flo. I don't think that she's going to be back for this game. I don't see anything about her being ruled out, but I know she is getting close to a return, which is going to help, specifically on the defensive end for Indiana. And then on the opposite side, we got Jordan Canada continues to remain out. Ron Howard rolled that left ankle against the Minnesota Lynx the other day. She will also miss this game, but I did see that Ariel Powers will be back for this game. She's not on the injury report. So talk to me about this game, Flo. What we thinking, man? If you had the better side, what would you do, and what would you look for as far as player props?
Betting aside, rightfully so. The line opened at -1 and it jumped to -2.5 for the Fever. They won their last 3. Just with like the Fever, you just have to talk about it's really been like 2 seasons in one. Like the first one was like the initial buzz of Caitlin Clark, her playing like every other day, the team being exhausted, her being hunted. And then they got like that week off, and you could tell they really like put some things together, running the offense through Leah Boston. I want to say she's over 19 points in her last 3 games they've won. Everything is telling you, take the Fever, no Ryan Howard. I'll be honest, I'm staying away from a side because a couple things kind of scare me here. One is the Indiana Fever with a terrible head coach. And it's a road game in Atlanta on a Friday. Like Atlanta, Atlanta's not good.
That scares me, Flo. That scares the living crap out of me, dog. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, Atlanta's not good. Their defense has been putrid. I mean, they put up 55 points against Minnesota last time, and it was hideous. But the one thing I will say, the number one issue I've had with this team all year is they're a team that does not have an identity and doesn't know what the hell they want to be and who they want to run the offense. Tina Charles is running it one week, then Cheyenne and Brian. But in a weird way, I feel like they Mr. Magoo their way into the team making sense now. Because now that Ryan's not in there, it's gonna be okay, cool. It's Alicia Gray, Tina Charles, and role players. It's gonna be a half-court game. So I like the over in this game, if anything. Because I think there will be a lot of points scored because it's two bad defenses rather, and 2 teams that you could beat in transition. So I do like the over in this game. I would lean Fever on the 2.5 or with the money line, but I just don't like spending my Friday night stressing on the Indiana Fever wins. So I'm not doing that. No, thank you. Player prop wise, 2 I really like in this game is I took Alicia Gray's assist on Flip 2.5. It's on my page at Stephen Florida if you want to find it. And I also did on MGM, I did her 4 assists plus Caitlin Clark's 4 assists, and her 5 assists plus Caitlin Clark's 4 assists to kind of ladder it up. I just think that there's going to be a lot of assist opportunities there. In the last 2 years, she hasn't played without Ryan Howard, but we've seen that she has 3+ assists of 4 of 7 home games. 5, I want to say, last time out against Washington. And it's just she's kind of just she can shoot the 3 and she can drive. I just look at similar players that played against Indiana, Kennedy Carter got 4 assists. A lot of kind of guards who got 4 assists. So the line, you could just take the 2 assists and parlay that with something else if you wanted. I just wanted to go straight to the 2.5. 3 seems crazy for a player that we know she's going to play 30+ minutes, 25+% usage is going to be all right there. And it's probably going to be high-low game with her and Tina Charles. I always like to look at who throws the entry pass in. That tends to be Nia Coffey, but I'm if Alicia Gray's cooking, because it's who's going to guard her? Kelsey Mitchell won't guard her. Lexi Hall won't guard her. Christy Wallace can't guard her, so maybe they'll slide some help, and she'll get some easy opportunities. And also, she's great on the fast break, so I really like those 2. And the other one I like is Kelsey Mitchell's 2 threes. I put that with the Vegas money line, and I got -112. I don't have all my plays yet. I just have a bunch of thoughts. And the biggest thought that I had is man, Aaliyah Boston's points feels like a sucker's trap right now. I'd be scared to take them. Because I'll tell you what, she's over 19 points last 3 games. She looks awesome. I don't blame anyone if you want to take it. She's been spectacular. This reminds me exactly when I took Breonna Jones points when she was going into Atlanta. And Breonna Jones had, I want to say 15 or 14 straight points. 14+ points of 4 straight games. I'm oh my God, they have a all these shots in the paint, and they're one of the worst teams at defending the rim. And then basically all Tanisha Wright did was just like front Breonna Jones on every single play and leave the wing wide open for threes. I want to say Tisha Harris had 3 threes. So I'm targeting Kelsey Mitchell because she's going to be in that same spot. So I took her 2 threes in the Aces money line. I got -112. I just think that like Aaliyah Boston, like they've got to make a decision how they want to defend her, because when they go to Cheyenne Parker on the bench, like Cheyenne like can't keep Leah off the block. So they're going to have to like double her down. So I really think like that three line is going to be wide open. So I'm going to target Kelsey Mitchell, who I want to say also has like 3+ threes and a really good track record versus Atlanta. So it's early in the morning. I don't have all my notes, but Kelsey Mitchell threes against Atlanta tends to be like a good look. So those are my like 2 looks for this game.
Yeah, man, Flo. It's first of all, I like both of those. I really, really do. I think you're definitely on point with the cap. It makes a lot of sense to me. I haven't been able to get through all the comments. What up to my guy Cam? He says, "Morning, fellas, just here to like the video. Y'all troopers doing content this early. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that for sure. Devontae, appreciate you for joining as a member as well. Whatever. And he says, happy birthday to my mom. Appreciate all the birthday love to my mom, man. Love my mom with the depths. My backbone.
Mom. That's beautiful.
Yeah, appreciate that, Flo. Jamili says, Fever gaining momentum. Happy birthday to everybody completing another lap. It's a blessing. Absolutely, definitely a blessing. Top of the morning to my guy Lightbear as well. Matt says Dream are inconsistent. FY says he's taking Dream on the money line. Dream are much better on the road than at home. Yeah, I know, right? It's a lot of different opinions on this game, man. Definitely. Books moved Boston up 6 in 2 games. Started at 10.5. Last game was 14.5. Now 16.5. Talk about market correction. Boston and Atlanta is still hard to fade. She's from South Carolina, so it's like playing a home game. I like this, Jerry. I absolutely forgot about that. And Blunt says, without Howard, I got to take the Fever here. What up to my guy Malik as well? So yeah, a couple comments I want to get through real quick, Flo, before I jump into what I like for the game. First one, I flagged a couple of these. First one I want to talk about is from Lee Anthony. He says, Ryan Howard's out. She had 6 threes last time they played. I think the Fever win this game comfortably. So what I'll say about that is, I don't know about comfortably either. Comfortably is a strong word.
It's a bad defense on the road.
It's a very poor defense on the road, Flo. What I'll say is this, man, because I actually, I'll just tell you guys, I did play the Fever in this game. I took the money line. I know you said that you saw it open at 1, Flo. I think you said this line actually opened at 4.5 in favor of the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream was like 4.5 on DraftKings when this line came out. And I got to it late. I got to it late. What I don't want to do here is I don't want to expect the Indiana Fever to win the game by margin. That's what I absolutely don't want to do. I don't want to lay any type of points with the Fever on the road. Like you said, bad defense. I just can't trust them defensively on the road. Not quite yet. Even though we can see at the bottom, look bottom left corner. Well, this comment's up right now, but bottom left corner, you can see that the defensive rating have been a little bit better. So what I did was I looked at the Fever games on the road. They've lost to the Sun. I wouldn't expect them to win that one. They lost to the Liberty. I wouldn't expect them to win that one. They lost to the Storm. I would not expect them to win that one.
For sure.
They also lost to the Aces, the Liberty, and the Sun. I would not expect them to win any of those games. So I think, I know that the Fever are a trendy team. It definitely seems like a public play to jump on the Fever here. But how can you trust Atlanta? This team does not play better at home. They play worse at home. And now they're down their star player. You got Alyssa Gray, who shot 1 for 16, I think, from the field in the last game. There's no way possible I can get there with Atlanta, man. I know that Indiana is this, shiny new toy. But one thing I will add, and this was part of the cap for the game against the Mystics the other day, is that the Fever, the beginning of the season, I knew that they were going to be a little bit better than they showed initially, just because, for one, they didn't have any time to gel together. Like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston are still developing that pick and roll, that high pick and roll that they run. Whether and let Caitlin Clark be a playmaker. She can shoot the thing from any side of this side of the court. And now you got Aaliyah Boston rolling. She's playing a little bit more confidently, which won her Player of the Week last week. So I like all of that, man. I do think the Fever win this game. I like this comment right here. Without Ryan Howard, I know you have Ariel Powers in there, and she's a dog, and running for 6th Woman of the Year. But I don't think that Atlanta has enough offensively. I like what the Fever are doing offensively. Like I said, last 5 games, they are number 2 in net rating, in offensive rating. So I do like them in this spot. My guy Justin says, and my daughter and your sister share. He says my daughter and your sister share birthdays. I think it's my brother, Justin. My brother shares birthdays. He says June is big around here. Absolutely. So Justin, my brother's birthday on the 7th. My nephew's birthday, he just turned 1, was on last Thursday, the 13th. My mom's birthday today, and then my niece's birthday is actually next Friday. So yeah, it's a super big month for for birthdays. Sounds like for both of us, Justin. Shout out to my guy Justin. Josh says, watching from Australia. Thanks for the insight, man. I appreciate you for tapping in from all the way over there. I agree with this comment as well. Without Howard, I got to take the fever, Chris.
Can I just jump in? Yeah,
go ahead.
The last thing I want to do at 8:30 in the morning on a Friday is tell you why I'm going to defend the Atlanta Dream, but I'll defend the Atlanta Dream. I don't listen, on my page, I love Ryan Howard. She's one of my favorite players in the league. I had her picture on my header as these are the best players in the WNBA. I took her picture down 10 days ago because she's been awful. She's an excellent player, but I don't think the Dream losing Ryan Howard is that big of a deal in a weird way, because I'm she's been bad. She had a stretch where she would shoot 1 for 18 from 3, bad decision making, bad shot taking. You could argue that they're for a stretch of the month, Ari Powers was playing better than her. So, and also with the Fever, I'm I just saw the Fever at home and need all 40 minutes to beat the Washington Mystics. The whole world is on the Fever. I'm man, I think they're gonna win, but I ain't gonna sit up here and pretend oh yeah, the Fever, yeah, they're coming 3 straight. No, they almost lost at home to the Sky too. I just feel all these teams are in the same cluster. On any given day, anyone can beat anyone really. Maybe not the Sparks or Mystics as much, but that whole Sky, Fever, Dream, Wings tier. It's round robin. Yeah, any of them could beat anyone any given day. Someone could get hot. Alicia Gray could drop 20 points and they could win. Tina Charles could drop 20 points, they can win. I'll probably look at what the odds for both of those are, since everybody's on the Fever, and I like to go the opposite direction when everyone's going that way. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the Dream won this game. I don't think they're going to win the game, but my thing is the Fever of the Fever. They will go stretches where they go cold. The head coach is terrible. They will if they front Aaliyah Boston, I would love to know what adjustments the head coach going to make, because the head coach has shown that she doesn't know how the hell to in-game adjust at all. She'll put her in pick and roll. She'll just put her in the corner at times. The Fever have a terrible coach. They're the Fever for a reason. That's all I would say about them. They are the Fever for a reason.
Yeah, I don't think I can talk you off any of that at all. 3 straight wins came against the Mystics, the Sky, and the Dream. So not really any good opponents there. Are we classing the Lynx? I'm sorry, the Atlanta Dream with the bottom tier type teams now, or can they get a much needed win? Somebody also asked about, real quick, Chad said pace will be there, but will the Dream contribute? And that's the thing for me, man. I think when I look at Atlanta and I go through,
slow the game down.
Well, potentially, the Indiana Fever have been playing a little bit slower themselves as of late as well. But I think about this, Flo. I think about the Dream are just so inconsistent on both sides of the ball. Last game against the Lynx, they scored 55 points, have one of the worst. I think that's the lowest point total they had all season outside of the game against the Sun, at home. But then they have a high-scoring game and they don't play any defense. So the defense looked good against the Lynx, but the offense wasn't there. They went 21 points under their team total in that game and played the Lynx really well. But then against the Sparks, they scored points against the Sparks, but their defense is not as great. They give up 74 to the Sparks. Then they go on the road. They can't stop the Fever. Give up 91 points to the Fever. Then before that, they're at home. They couldn't stop the Mystics. So it's just at the beginning of the season, the defense was really, really good. Now it seems like the defense is taking a step back, even though they are 5th rated defensively. But I'll go Fever in this spot, man. I know it's a chalky play, but I do like it here. How about a Cup of Joe says I played the Fever team total over 82.5. Am I bugging?
I like that.
I don't think so. I don't think so, man. If they're gonna win the game, I think it's gonna be with their offense and not their defense. So agree with that. Then one more I want to talk about. Jerry says Chris needs to go on a run to get some cash for all the gift that he got ahead. Absolutely, that's a fact. I just wanted to point that out real quick. That's a fact. I do need to go on a run because there's a lot to pay for. I only got my guy Flo for a couple more minutes, so we're gonna get on to the next game. We have the Connecticut Sun and the Aces. Did this line move at all? So 6.5 now. This line did move. It opened at, I think it opened at 5.5, and now it was at 5.5 last night. It's actually up to 6.5. And this was a game that I have not made a play on quite yet. Wanted to talk this one out. Total has moved up from 162.5 all the way up to 164.5. So the books are expecting some points here. And yeah, it's a good one, Flo. I think it's a really, really good game we got on our hands here. So I'm gonna get into a quick breakdown of the game, and then I'll let you share what it is that you got. First up, we'll look at situationally. You got the Connecticut Sun coming off 2 days rest, which is one more than the Aces. First game on the West Coast, which I think is gonna be interesting. 4 straight wins for the Connecticut Sun. They've only lost one game, and of course that came against the New York Liberty. This team is 13-1, best record in the WNBA, 7-7 straight up. 7-7 against the spread. 5-0 on the road. Have not lost a road game. 3-2 against the number. Offensively, 4th rated. Defensively, number 1. And when we talk about net rating, they're also number 1. You look at the Aces. 1 day's rest. First game. No, this is not first game back home after the road trip. This is actually 3rd straight home game. I'm sorry. This is not supposed to say first game back off a road trip. This is 3rd straight home game for them. Guess I forgot to change that. And they're coming off a win. This team is coming off a win against the Seattle Storm. Nice bounce back for them. They are 7-6 straight up, 4-9 against the number. At home, 4-4 straight up, 2-6 against the number. So they haven't really been covering, but offensively, they're good. We see, Jackie Young go for it. I don't know if it was a career high or not, but I know she got 34 points. I think it was 34 points in the last game. Defensively, they looked a little bit better until the 4th quarter in that game against Seattle. And net rating, they're 5th as well. So big statement type game here, in my opinion. Flo, talk to me. What you think happens in this one?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the Sun are 13-1, and I feel like no one respects them Absolutely. To the level that you think of. It just feels like the Sun are one of those teams where they'll have these really maybe the old school Atlanta Hawks. They'll have these really good regular seasons, and they'll give you great moments, and they'll be a top 2-3 seed. But I like the Aces in the spot. The line, a lot of people in the comments are saying, actually opened at -2. I couldn't get it in time at the -2, but I just feel like the Aces, their avalanche is gonna be too much. Once they start getting on the break and Chelsea Gray's back, and they have this kind of new lease on life now that they're game over 500, and the only way the Sun are going to win this game, in my opinion, is if you see DeWanna Bonner go off for 20+ points, and even then I'm I don't know where they're gonna get the offense to stay with the Aces in this game. So I don't think the Aces are a perfect team. I don't think they're the same juggernaut championship team as last year. Their defense still has flaws. Their rebounding still leaves a little bit to be desired. But yeah, I just think it's a step up in class for the Sun. And it's one of those games where I need the Sun to show me something. That whole tier with the Aces and the Liberty, you got to ask the question, why do you belong in that tier? You're having a great season. A lot of respect to they're blowing out teams. They're beating the teams they should, handling business. But yeah, I just don't see it with this team. I just think the backcourt with Harris and DJ Carrington, can they keep up with that Plum, Young, Chelsea Gray? Also, if we could ever get a Tiffany Hayes line, the revenge spot for Tiffany Hayes, even though it's not revenge if you left and retired. I always I don't know if she has any reason to hate the Sun, but she'll be up for this game too. So yeah, I like the Aces in the spot. I like them to get some momentum and pull out the win later tonight.
Okay. How would you play them if you liked them, Flo? Would you play? I know you said something about you had them on the money line. Would you think it's a better Aces first quarter, first half, or would you take them full game?
I'd probably go full game because I think the Sun are a team they could they slow down the game and they muck it up. So I could see a first quarter where it's low scoring or they're playing tough defensively. I just think it's a game where as it progresses on, you're gonna see the cracks show up. You're gonna see the Aces go on their Aces run at some point. So how would I play it? I'd have to look at it because I wouldn't play off the bat because against the Storm, I'm oh man, the Aces is gonna jump the Storm off rip. So I love that kind of first quarter, first half look. First half, I could see a halftime the Sun keeping it respectable or keeping it close, maybe even tied. But the third quarter, fourth quarter, that's where I'm kind of looking at. I'm okay, once we get into the third quarter and Chelsea Gray's out there and they're pushing the break, that's when I would get a little scared. I would also take Asia Wilson for the first basket because Breonna Jones can't jump, and I don't know why they keep putting her up at the tip. So I would take that too.
Dustin says, Flo, what's your first basket parlay today?
It's not even a fault. Put Bonner out there.
Yeah, she doing work on the block. Definitely not winning no jump balls or jumping over top of nobody for sure.
The answer, Dustin here. What's the first basket parlay for today? It would be Boston and Asia Wilson. 700,
Boston.
290, and that would get you like
Ooh.
15 something. Those are the two I'd
Okay.
go with. The two South Carolina girls coming through, number 1 overall picks. Get it done.
Yeah, two centers today. Okay, I like it. Or you can say whatever you want to do.
I didn't even give that out. I had a first basket for Dream and Fever. I'm going Clark Boston. They run like that 2-woman game. At the jump, Nia Coffey cannot jump. I like just targeting players who cannot jump, and Nia Coffey cannot jump.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. So, man, it's a lot of thoughts. It sounds like the chat really likes the Aces and would agree with the line movement, going here. So what I had written in my notes, man, I think, I tried to look deep and hard into this game. I do think that the Connecticut Sun I don't think that they've been tested yet. I really don't. I look at the Suns record. Who have they really, really played so far? They played the Fever, the Mystics, the Fever.
Just that Liberty game, really.
Yeah, just the Liberty game. I mean, they played the Lynx and they won by 1, but that was a game that they probably shouldn't have won because DeWanna Bonner got the foul call that she shouldn't have got against Fee. I remember that.
Oh yeah, that was
such
a trash call. Yeah, that was such a trash call.
Yeah, then they beat the Sky by 4. Mercury, Wings, Dream, Mystics, lost to the Liberty. Then they beat up on the Fever, the Sky, the Wings, and the Spark. So yeah, I mean, it's difficult for me not to want to take the Aces here, man. I think this comment that I left up from Z's Nuts says Aces came out strong last game, and I think they worked out some kinks. I'm liking the Aces first quarter, first half. I think that's a really strong look. The Aces typically when they play good basketball, it typically starts from the tip. Connecticut does have the rest advantage. They are the better defensive team. But do we buy on the Aces, and what we saw from them in the last game? This is their 3rd straight home game. I think it's positive. They have a positive impact of getting Chelsea Gray back. We saw that in the last game. Just, even defensively, she was out there. Playmaking ability is second to none. And Connecticut, like I said, they played a much easier schedule. So I also don't like that the Connecticut Sun first game on the road. After this, they got the Storm. So, when you're playing, Eastern Standard Time, and now you got a game, and this is super late, your body got to adjust to that as well. So I think if I'm playing the game, I do like the Aces early. I think it was who talked about Aces early. My guy Jamin in the comments says Aces first quarter minus the 2.5. See, my guy Justin says he got the Aces minus 2 days ago. So he jumped on them super early. I couldn't talk anybody off either one of these looks. Chad says like first quarter, actually with Gray probably coming off the bench again. She will wrap up the first quarter. I like that a lot as well. Cup of Joe says he loves that Boston and Wilson. Sounds amazing on the first basket. He also likes the Sun team total to go over. Chad says this. He's been saying this for a while. The Suns are frauds. They just play against easy teams. That is pretty strong. I disagree with my guy Chad. We go back and forth all the time on this because I do believe in the Suns defense. Now, can they stop the Aces? That's going to be something different. I really got to continue to think this game out a little bit more. But I do think if I'm playing it, though, I do like the Aces first quarter. I think I like that here again. Ian says Aces again here. Let's see. John says free money today. Connecticut plus the 6.5 and Indiana money line. Boston 15 and 10. You're welcome. Okay. Cup of Joe says Chelsea Gray is back. We got to trust the Aces first quarter. I think so, man. I think that they're going to get up for this game. They're going to look over it. They're going to see a Sun team that only has 1 loss. And they're going to say, you know what? Like, now it's time for us to, stop playing around. We got, some depth now. Everybody's getting pretty healthy. And we got to come up. I think the Aces going to go on a run here, Flo. What do you think about the Aces potentially going on a run here, just being 7-6 so far right now?
Yeah, I like that a lot. Like, what I'm looking at is like their over for the wins for the season. It's at 27.5. It just really feels that like, okay, like they're gonna get it into gear. Like they're not gonna be like the 6 seed, the 5 seed. And also, I just kind of think like the this year more than ever, like the WNBA, like the teams are so top heavy. Like the Fever are like the 8 seed. They're like what, 6 and 10. So yeah, I do like that. So like I do think a run is coming. And I'm strongly in on like their over for wins for the season. It's like 27.5. They would have to literally go on a run because I think they'd have to go like what 21-6 the rest of the way. But like they easily could do that.
Yeah, it sounds like it makes a lot of sense. I mean, no, it don't sound like it makes a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this thing up because my boy Flo definitely has to jump off here, and I do too. But I think we did a pretty good job breaking down the games. I definitely do. Like I said, I want to think a little bit more about this one, but I also want to, real quick before we let my guy Flo go, I want to just do a quick recap of what it is that we talked about that he likes and that I like. So let's go real quick. Let's go Mon, and then let's go just really quickly, let's go Flo. All right. So Flo, talk to me. What is it that you want to leave the people with today? It could be one play, it could be 2 plays, 3 plays. What you liking for today?
I love Kelsey Mitchell's 2 threes. If you could put that with something, I took it with the Aces money line. If you safer option, if you don't do the money line thing, you could do like 6 DeWanna rebounds. I got to look more into it, but I really think DeWanna could grab like 7-8 rebounds. Okay. And Alicia Gray's assist, I'm going 2.5 off of Flip, and I'm building up to 5. Some of that is speculative. I just really like Alicia Gray's game against a bad defense. It's a defense that stinks. That's why I don't trust the Fever. Their coach is terrible. So, yeah, Alicia Gray's assist, Kelsey Mitchell's 2 threes, and of course, Asia Wilson first basket because she hasn't had it in like 2-3 games. So I'm like, oh man, we're due for an Asia Wilson first basket.
Asia Wilson first basket. You're
yeah,
right.
And that's a sprinkle, by the way. Like someone came like, oh, I put a full unit on the first basket. I'm like, I'm glad it hit, but first baskets aren't meant for
they're not full
unit plays.
They're fun bets. They're definitely fun bets.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that because responsible gambling is important. Don't go out here blowing your money, all of it on something that's gonna happen in the first 5 to 10 seconds of the game.
Something stupid could happen. And like I've seen like, oh, the defense wasn't set and there was a player behind the whole defense and they didn't even it's like it's the first basket. I've seen layups missed on first bats. It's like it's a janky play. It's fun when it hits, but it's a janky play.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a janky play for sure. Okay, I think we did a pretty good job, man. PG says top of the morning gang. I'm leaning Sun plus 6.5. John Bell says sneaky play here. He likes Asia 41.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He says Connecticut #1 defense in the entire league. So I think he means under. He didn't put which way. Chad says he thinks the Sun gonna be the first team to make the final, to not make the finals after starting 11-0 or whatever it is that they started. Jamie says the Aces' slow start to the season reminds me a lot of how they started the Last Dance Bulls in 1998. Okay, winning is hard. Yeah,
that's a great point. I love that.
Yeah,
point.
I think so too. Z's Ness says I think I may like the Sun team total over 79.5. Thinking Aces keep up the pace and the Sun should be able to get some baskets. So one thing I'll say, this is the last thing I'll say real quick because I did look into this as well. The Sun have not been dogs this season. They've been a favorite in every game so far. I think. Let me see. Well, I think they were. I think they've been favorites every game this season. Last year as a dog, they finished 6-10, and the only reason I referenced last year is because a lot of this team is still the same. Of course, role like bench players have changed just a tad bit, especially with Tiffany Hayes. But 6-10 straight up, 9-7 against the number, 11-5 to the over. The Sun was a defensive team last year. So that tells me that the defense, they gave up 85 points per game last season when they were a dog. So if you like that, I guess that goes well with the over here. A lot of that happened against the Liberty when they lost 3-1 in the finals last year. But yeah, against the Aces, they played over games against the Aces. Matter of fact, both games went over against the Aces. Well, yeah, they played the Aces 3 times last year. All 3 games went over. So I guess I would agree with the total going up there. They did lose to the Aces, then they beat the Aces, and then they lost to the Aces again. So 1-2 against the Aces last year. Just wanted to reference that real quick. Good luck to my guy. Good luck to everybody today. Chad says good luck. Good to catch the show live. Absolutely. Cup of Joe says cup of coffee equals a first basket. So he likes that. And let's see if we can win some money today, man. I appreciate my guy Flo for jumping on. Resources that I use to handicap the games are here. Check out moneyballer.com if you guys are interested in a one-stop shop for all your sports betting needs. They got a lot of different situational trends and stats and rest advantage. Everything that you can think of is all there for you guys. Always got to shout out OzJam. You guys can get 25% off your first month using code CBC when you sign up. The link for that is in the description. And if you enjoyed the show, do me a favor, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Flo, tell them where they can find all your looks real quick before you jump up out of here. And appreciate you coming on again.
Appreciate it, man. And thanks for having me this morning. On YouTube, if you can subscribe, Sports with Flo, streaming, giving out picks. And my name right there, at Stefan Florval on Twitter. You can find me, giving out daily picks, sharing immaculate vibes. So happy Friday, everyone. Hope you guys have a great day. Happy birthday, Mama.
Appreciate that.
Everyone. I appreciate you pulling up.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, bro. Appreciate you as well. And so it's way more than just sports betting, man. It's the immaculate vibes that my guy Flo talked about, man. Flo, a good guy. Appreciate him for taking his time and coming on the show today. Absolutely, Flo. So yeah, man. Like I said, link for my official plays. The only thing I did play so far, and it's a tad bit risky, man. But I'm gonna take the money line with the Fever on the road here, just because I trust them a little bit more than I trust the Atlanta Dream. But would it surprise me if the Atlanta Dream were able to get a win, at home on a Friday night, like Flo said at the beginning? It wouldn't really surprise me. But I'll go with the Fever because I think that they are trying to get into that, that last seed in the playoffs, and that you got to win the games like this, especially against an Atlanta team without their star players. So only official play that I've made so far. Members, be on the lookout. I'm gonna find a way to play this Aces game. Just haven't figured out how I want to do it quite yet. But I think that first quarter, like I said, is probably the best look, at least so far. Link for all my official plays, like I said, is in the description. Bet responsibly. Best of luck. You guys enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekends as well. I will be back tomorrow. We'll do this all over again like we always do, man. Best of luck. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. We out.